Un día terrible para Chile, un día terrible para Nacho Cornejo, que queda fuera del Dakar. A 2 días del final del rally, Chaleco López es primero en la categoría Lightweight Vehicles.
The Dakar, a race against the clock, against sand, fatigue, dust, kilometers, a race against the dreaded night.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't ride in the dark. I can't use the main track. I'm crisscrossing all over the place. Where's the main track anyway? Here somewhere. Terrible. I think it's really shit to be riding in the dark.
The craziest day of my life. It's quite a race. I think I'm going to sleep well.
The darkness, and that's difficult on a bike when you can't use the track. The problem, you get caught in the dark. If I had 1 more hour of daylight, I would have made it in the daylight. But I'll never give up.
I was okay until I crashed in the rocks. I just hurt my hands, and then I couldn't ride properly for half of the stage. One problem leads to another.
I woke up an hour late, so I even started late today. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, you make it. Show up.
Jeez.
We are happy to see you in the light.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and see you guys in the light. Guys, well, let me try and get as much daylight.
Yeah.
Well, this should have been the longest stage of the rally, but it was reduced to 464k due to rainfall. Still a daunting prospect though, with enduro-style gravel tracks and plenty of dunes. A dramatic setting for a potentially decisive day. Ricky Brabeck was first into the stage after his superb stage win yesterday, and he was soon joined by his Honda teammate Joan Barreda, who set off 3 minutes later. But the Spaniard is apparently still feeling the ill effects of a crash 2 days ago. Incredibly, he completely missed the refuelling point at 174 kilometres, and as that is against rally regulations, he was set to incur a hefty time penalty. Inevitably, he ran out of gas, and after a medical check, he ended up throwing in the towel. I wasn't feeling well again this morning. I don't know if it's because of the crash I had 2 days ago, but I was definitely a bit dizzy. I ended up missing the refueling point and I just didn't stop. Ultimately, it was my mistake. Disaster for Barreda, who was on course for his best ever result. Lorenzo Santolino thus moved up to 6th overall after spending most of the day on his own. No big crashes or navigation errors, and the Sherco bike is looking good. A frustrating stage though for Skylar Howes. The American ended up getting stuck in a hole late in the day and losing quite a bit of time. He just about held on to 5th place overall, but Santolino is only 19 seconds back. Daniel Sanders enjoyed the variety of today's stage, saying it was his favourite outing so far, and that in spite of some tricky navigation. The Aussie cruising through the canyons and dunes to take 4th place. He's also 4th overall. What a performance for his maiden Dakar. Brabeck was always likely to lose time, having opened this morning, and he slipped 7 minutes off the pace. The American wasn't happy with KTM, rejecting the suggestion that Barreda's misadventure with refuelling was some kind of tactical move.
They think that it was a strategy for Juan to go ahead and skip refueling, but you know what, they're talking crap behind our back, and you know I'm not okay with that. If they want to play that game, then we're going to play. Hopefully tomorrow we can clinch a podium spot. That's about it.
Well, Matthias Valkman later apologised to Honda, so hopefully they can patch things up in the bivouac. Meanwhile, his teammate Sam Sunderland went for it today as he looked to make up a 10-minute deficit to the rally lead. Close, but no cigar. He is still 4 minutes back.
I knew that today was my one of my last chance to try to win, and I gave my all day, and the boys up front did a great job. Didn't manage to take quite enough time, but yeah, we still have one day to go, and many things can happen in one stage.
So Kevin Benavides is on the verge of a historic first victory for South America in the bikes. The Argentine doing a solid job with Brabeck in the dunes to retain his overall lead. He is now just 225 kilometres from Dakar glory. I think we managed a good stage up at the front, and now we'll see what happens tomorrow. Joan made a serious mistake, and that saw him retire from the rally, which is a real shame. And now we have to fight until the finish tomorrow. Pablo Quintanilla second behind Sunderland on the day, having finally got his suspension sorted. The Chilean is 7th overall, Valkner completing the top 5. Benavides with a lead of 4 minutes and 12 seconds to defend in tomorrow's final stage. Sunderland and Brabeck within 7 minutes 13. Another Argentine is on course to win the quads class. Meanwhile, Manuel Andujar leads by over 25 minutes.
I know Dakar ever since I am alive, to be honest. I'm very happy that he's the upgraded version of me.
The name Dabrowski is back on the Dakar 5 years after the last appearance of Marek. His son Conrad is discovering the rally for the very first time.
I remember times when I was watching the videos and just dreaming about coming here. It came true. It came true faster than I thought it would, because I'm just 19.
Back in 2000, Marek Dabrowski, with his friend Jacek Shakur, became the first Polish rider to finish the event.
When we came to Dakar, because it was Dakar to Cairo, I didn't know what is the cup, what is the road book. I was lost with Jacek on the streets of Dakar when we started. Everything was so bad. He was born in 2001. In 2001, it was my second Dakar, and after 14 more Dakars, he chose that, and now we are doing. I have my father, but also my uncle, which is a team manager. It makes a lot of things much easier, and I can just, focus on racing, focus on riding, and not really worry about other things, which is really helping. When you are fighting in Dakar, your head is easy. This is another step after being a rider, fighting here in Dakar to see your son when he is doing that. Then you send him for 1,000 kilometers a day, different story. Sometimes I have to go lie down to my tent to cool down. I never had this after stages. At the finish line, I am happy that I did it, I completed, and every stage makes me closer to make a dream come true, to complete the full rallies. I hope this journey begins now and will last for a long time.
On every bivouac of the Dakar, there's a place that has become precious for all the vehicles of the rally, the Racing Lab.
Just like in blood analysis, in the Racing Lab, we will do an oil analysis in order to check the health of the engine and the oil. We receive a sample taken from the engine, the gearbox or the transmission, and we will make the oil analysis with the equipment here in the lab, and we get the final result with all the different elements to see how the engine is behaving. We are running this year on a rate of 50 samples analysis per day, which is quite huge, knowing that at the very early stage of Dakar, for instance, we were running on 50 samples analysis per Dakar.
Of all the crews in the car and lightweight classes, only one is 100% female. For the second consecutive year, Camelia Liparotti and Annette Fischer are sharing a T3 Yamaha. The Italian and her German co-driver are currently 17th overall. While Australian Daniel Sanders leads the rookie classification of the bike race, two other newcomers seem to have a bright future and both come from the world of enduro. Spaniard Tosha Scarena is currently 14th overall, while Portugal's Rui Gonçalves on a factory Sherco is 20th.
The president of the FIA, Jean Todt, was at the start today, no stranger to the Dakar, as he won it when he was boss of Peugeot and Citroën, winning in the 80s and 90s when times were rather different. Carlos was complaining that he lost around 10 minutes, but I remember that I would sometimes wait 5, 6 or 7 hours. We just didn't know where the cars even were. 2 stages to go. The run into Yanbu was again very different. The Chinese contingent is stealthily having a good run on this year's event. The best drivers up the order being Lu, Zhang, Liu and Han with their buggies and 4x4s. With a huge effort from BAIC, they won't be midfield for long as they're pushing hard in this part of motorsport, building their own cars and bringing a full Chinese crew with them on rally raids the world over. Indeed, Wei Han proved his speed today with a best of 6th. 5-time winner on a bike, Cyril Dupre had another good stage as his run to the flag is coming together. Just off the pace of the factory cars, he's again showing his speed with the X-Works Peugeot buggy. Sheikh Khalid Al-Qasimi arguably had his best run of the entire rally until the last 30 kilometres when he got hard on the maps, and that was a shame because he was third with 2 waypoints to go. After having won yesterday, Yazid Al-Raji opened the stage but couldn't quite keep up with the pace of those behind him, particularly over the rocks. He got through them carefully and finished ahead of Dupre in 4th. Janil de Villiers is driving the same chassis as Fernando Alonso had last year. Rugged things, these rally raid cars, but 2 punctures today upped his tally this year to 23 before powering through to the line in 5th. Carlos Sainz hit the front from the first of the waypoints today but lost out as the miles unfolded. He said it was a typical day for him, hard on the maps and again more punctures, and he didn't have any more spares, so he had to roll off the throttle towards the line. He's still third. Nasser Al-Attiyah decided he was going to give it a huge go today. On the last big stage, he had no other option to try and clinch a 4th Dakar victory. He dropped time mid-stage with punctures, then he thrashed it to the line, finding 2 minutes. But is that the rally?
Yeah, sure. Still one day, but okay. This time we have a lot of really puncture, you know. Now I have more than 16 tires puncture, you know. I am sure 16 tires by 1 minute and a half, you know, it's a lot, you know, but okay.
The overall leader also had 2 punctures, including one in the dunes, but Stefan Perhansel cruises into the last day with a 15-minute lead for what should be another historic day for the Frenchman over the finish ramp tomorrow. Leader since stage 2, the X-Ray team have been faultless, having led after every single stage. In the final Rios towards the end we got lost a few minutes, so there was a bit of stress, but finally a good day because it was quite a stage, so to lose a little time is okay. On the stage then, Alatia takes it by 2 minutes from Peder Hansel. He tried, but it might not be enough. Sainz in third, Al-Raji and Dupre fourth and fifth. And overall, Peder Hansel's lead is 15 minutes ahead of Alatia. Sainz in a safe third, Shizgonski and Roma. Chaleco Lopez heads the lightweight class with Austin Jones just a handful of minutes back. The class is getting red hot as the temperature climbs again out of the mountains down to Yanuba. 10 minutes between the top two sets up the class perfectly for a finale. Dakar legend Gerard Fares has been so close to a stage win this year, but has been unable to match his run of 12 months ago. But he's on the pace and he's in the top 5. After a good run through the stages, rookie Wayne Matlock in the Polaris found out today that the dust is just the same as on the Baja 1000. But the American from San Diego had a good run to be just outside the top 10. Koelen and Van der Gerberg have had another great stage down to Janbu. The Dutch pair may well be going up a slot to 6th overall. Team Orange is flying. A catalogue of mechanical failures, including 80 broken drive belts, has meant Chris Meek has been hampered, but today he was off the leash to battle for the victory. On his first Dakar, he's keen to take a win, but a flats put paid to that before the ends. Seth Quintero flew through the stage to lead at all but the first waypoint. Back on form and solid with his Red Bull OT3, he had a puncture here, but it mattered little for the 18-year-old. Austin Jones relishes this kind of terrain as a place where he could attack from the front to gain time on Lopez. Yesterday it worked, but it wasn't to be today. Try as he may, a few minutes fell away from him, but he's still in a fantastic second. So Lopez continues to lead. He had a puncture, it made it a little edgy in the car, but then this happened. How lucky was the overall leader of the lightweight class on this year's Dakar not to have more suspension damage when he had contact with another car. He got away with it and he's come home ahead of Jones. And finally, Lionel Bode continues in the sister car to that of Meek. The man from the French mountains led early on and continues to be amongst the front runners.